Hello, and welcome back to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. I'm Rosa.
And I'm still Sharyn.
We thank each and every one of you all for joining us once again for another week of a conversation. So we are coming to you on a Friday evening because I'm leaving to go out of town tomorrow. So we're trying to get this subject in.
Look, not only Friday, but it's Cinco de Mayo.
Yes, it's Cinco de Mayo day. So, and we're, instead of out, we're recording because we love you all.
Exactly. That's what we're doing.
I want to make sure we get something out up by Wednesday. So, but yeah, welcome back. If you're new to our channel, please like, subscribe, and share our videos. We will greatly appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Any announcements for you outside of our party as we announce every week, because we're going to do that.
We promise. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Closer and closer.
Here we go. Announcement, very personal, very self-focused. I've just lost 17.2 pounds with Weight Watchers, and I can't wait to hit 20, which takes me into 25. So I'm working on it. But I've asked you guys many times before, send me a donut if you love me. Okay.
Some of y'all sending it too. I'm gonna need y'all not
glazed. Nothing funky, nothing weird, just glazed donuts. I'm good.
Yeah, she's doing very, very well, and she's out walking too, which helps a whole lot.
Ooh,
she's eating better, and she's walking
and drinking the water.
And I'm making smoothies every day.
What? My wife is doing wonderful, healthy.
Look, I don't know how she's gonna do while I'm gone, but yeah. Anyway, so outside of that, that's all you got?
That's all I got.
All right. Again, the party is July 16th. We hope that you all decide to come. Again, hit us up with Sharon's phone number. That's normally in the write-up, and we'll get you all set up for our party.
And then some people don't want to read the write-up. So here it is. 619-238-1992. That's 619-238-1992. That was a very good year.
Okay, right. Okay, since we had to get the number so everybody can hear it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's do our shout outs.
Yeah, shout outs.
Put her number out for the world.
Oh, I'll hang up. I was like,
no, I'm just kidding. She don't even care. She's had the number so long.
I've had the number for almost 40 years, right? You know, so still work. I still pay the bill.
Yeah, exactly. So our first shout out today goes to Deborah W.
Ooh.
Thank you. And you always saying hello no matter what video content we put out, and we appreciate you for that. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Second is Eugene W, aka my brother-in-law.
AKA my older brother. Hey, G.
Hey. We love you.
Well, he really does look at the show because he asks me questions later on in the week. And I'm like, you really be looking at the tapes, you know?
Yeah, so he's a big supporter. We appreciate you, Gene, for that. And last but not least is Shay. Hello. How are you?
Hey, Shay.
Thank you for being a subscriber to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. We appreciate you as well. Okay.
Whew. We got to hit it. Let's just hit it.
Yeah, let's just hit it. Well, I got to set it up for y'all because you need to know where it comes from. So I don't know how many of you all follow Iyanla Vanzant, but I'm a fan of hers. I think sometimes she has... Yeah, she's not the biggest fan. But I think sometimes that she has great content and gives good advice. So, you know, I always listen to upbeat stuff, you know. So, and one of the things that just recently happened is she was on a show with a woman named Ebony K. Williams. And they were discussing, I guess it turned around somehow, and they started discussing blue collars, not
dating men. Yeah.
So she asked Miss Ebony, will you date a bus driver? And Ebony said if he owns the bus. So it went to the left from there.
Okay.
So I've been following the back and forth of Ebony, you know, because people hit her up too, saying how she needed to get a man who has all these figures and he's got to, be the owner of this, and this. And then Iyanla's saying, y'all crying about there's no good men out here.
Well, that's black
but
men.
Sometimes, right. But sometimes they come in packages of blue collar workers.
Yeah.
And there's some good men out there. They may not be making the 6 figures you want or the figures you want, but they are good. So depending on what you're looking for. So that's what that is. So my wife and I had a conversation about it, and that's how we got to today's
and applied topic. It to lesbian land.
Yes, because it happens to us too.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we say. We're like, hey, that happens in our world too. So in lesbian land, we're gonna talk about dating blue collar.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you've seen or heard about the Iyanla thing, you probably know a little bit what I'm talking about. If not, go back and look at her stuff. She's on Facebook.
Yeah.
So if you punch it in, it'll come up.
And it's not straight, gay, trans, whatever. It's about just the dynamic of people when they're looking for a mate. They want this, they want that, and they got to have green eyes, and you got to be, right. 5'8", and you got to have a waistline that's no more than 24, whatever the it is, and is that realistic? And then as we drill it down and put it in our black community, lesbian community, gay and others and everybody under the rainbow, do we do that to one another as we're out there looking for love, companionship, friendship, hot sex and everything else, Right. So do we do that? And the answer is, I think we do.
Yeah,
I think we do.
I for a fact know that. I remember when I was out there dating, people want to know what you do, and and it's not a question as they're just trying to get to know you better. It's like, okay, so because I would say, I work for a university. Then they want to get into what I actually do. They trying to figure out what zeros I got behind my paycheck, and I'm like, girl, if you're looking for somebody with money, it ain't me.
As you were the single, and it
doesn't matter what you're doing at a university, you probably ain't making no money
unless you are the dean, the provost,
right, something like you ain't making too much money.
Yeah.
And I work for a state school. That's even worse. So anyway, so with that, I know for a fact we in the lesbian land world does that. So
yeah, okay, and we do. So today we're talking about just the dating and are you focused on what the person makes? Does it matter what your potential mate makes as far as finances are concerned? Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just gonna say when you get done, go ahead. I'm good.
Okay. And look, before I go any further, look, in the real world, there are gold diggers out there. There are some people, they don't even they won't even finish the conversation if you ain't making so and so. And remember, as you are, whether you're online or just met a friend's friend or my cousin Snooky from Baltimore, whatever, as you are speaking to people and exchanging information, people are constantly making pluses and minuses.
Always.
Oh, she's good looking, but.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, she's
and
good.
I think that's true to a degree because I do that too. But it just depends on what I'm interested in. Like pluses and minuses and somebody's salary has nothing to do with me. Like whatever you make is not my money. So I don't really care if, you can afford to go to Bora Bora every year and, or up the street. Like to me that's not a big deal. When I'm doing pluses and minuses, I'm looking at things when you're telling a story. Are you the one that is always the victim? When you're we go out to eat, if I decide to pay for it, will you say let me leave the tip? Like I'm looking for small things that makes you a person. Because one of the things that Iyanla said, she said, first of all, before I get into that, so we're going to pose the question to you all. Will you date a bus driver? So meaning, will you date someone who's blue collar, whether they picking up trash, bus driver,
the lead person at Home Depot,
right?
You know what I mean, or the manager at 7-Eleven, but also works the third shift too. You know what I mean. So,
will you date someone like that? And before you even think to answer, I agree a little bit with Iyanla because she said one of the things she said is, and this is not verbatim, it's similar to what she said, but she says, I will date someone who's a bus driver if, and she said he, but I'm putting it in the woman's point of view, if she is a good person and, you know, loves her mother. This is what Yana said too. Loves her mother, loves her family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Good mother, takes care of her kids.
Good principle.
Yeah.
And believe in God.
Believe in some higher
power.
I mean, those are the things we look for. And we always say, oh, we just need a good person, and we list that stuff. But that's not really what we're looking for when we do find somebody. Because somebody could come like that, but just not in the packet that you want. You want to be able to walk into a room and say, hey, I'm with Dr. Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of somebody saying, oh, well, what does your wife do? Oh, well, she's the head lead person at McDonald's. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Or she's a gardener. She's an electrician. You know what I mean?
Right.
All this is blue collar. And, you know, in the real world, you know, blue collar be pulling down some serious cabbage, some real bugs.
Most of the time they keep the world moving. Like without them, there's no other people just white collar. You know?
The people on the sea level, where would you be without us? You know what I mean? And I've worked the aisle. I've been on the left, the right, the up, and you know, really, Sharyn, you know, and which has made me. I felt I was much more experienced and much more flexible. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know what it feels like to be the boss, and I know what it feels like to be the third person hanging off the back of a truck.
Right.
You know, not lately, but you know what I'm saying.
But you've been there.
Yeah,
right?
I've been there. I understand.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And who moved my water jug? So today, like I said, we're talking about that because it does happen in the gay community, and and nothing against, and I'm going to mispronounce her name, Iyanla. And Iyanla, her. I'm not a big fan for my own reasons. I don't have to tell you now, but sometimes she does come up with some nice little gold nuggets, and I'm like, okay. And Rosa really digs her, so cool. You know, I'm not poo-pooing her, but
I mean, Iyanla fixed a lot of lives. I'm just saying.
Okay.
She might have tore up some too, but she fixed.
So here we go. You know, we were talking about, you know, will you date blue collar and all those things. You know, where does it even come from? Right. The fact that if you're out there looking for a mate, you got to look at you got to. Can I see your W-2 first? You know what I mean? What does that mean? You know, I need to know who you are, how did you become you? What makes you happy? What are you proud of in your life? What do you want for your children? Why did you marry that guy, 15 years ago? You know what I mean? How did you come into, how did it happen that you came into my life? Because I was over here out in the field and blah, 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 but yet our worlds came together. Right. So I want to know those kind of things about you. I don't care what you make or don't make.
Yeah, but
I really don't.
When you and I were discussing it a little bit, one thing you did said that if the person, like, let's say for instance, you were dating the person at 7-Eleven, like, as long as they're going to be doing something in the future better, then you could date them. And I'm like,
well, wait a minute. Let me preface that. I would say, if I met you and you were on the third shift at 7-Eleven, no harm in that, because there's honor and honorable and honest work. Yeah. And I'm thinking, like, are you already where you're going? Because that means at least I know that. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, sweetie, it took me 5 years to get to this shift, and I'm happy. And one day I'm going to be co-manager. Well, in my world and my vision for myself and for me and my mate may take me on a different road or to a different level. And I would have to be comfortable with sharing that with her too, because if you are working the third shift at wherever,
at McDonald's,
and that's where you are, and that's where you want to be, and this is about as far as where you're going, already know there is going to be somewhat of a disconnect, because you may very well want to live a certain lifestyle, and I'm thinking, well, that puts limits on mine, because I know already we can only afford a one-room flat behind a Dewdrop-In hotel, with that salary.
Because if that person is making whatever they make, doing whatever they're doing, when you say you want to live a certain lifestyle, they're probably happy living the way they're living. Now, you may want to continue your lifestyle of traveling and doing things. That person may not necessarily want to do all of that.
That's true. Yeah,
So,
but it's worth knowing.
oh,
You know what I
it
mean?
definitely
You
is
know what I
worth
mean?
knowing,
Like,
but at the same time, you're looking at pretty much what the person is making. Because if that person is your soulmate, and you're saying you don't really care about the amount of money this person is making, as long as somebody have an honest job and they're taking care of themselves,
you good.
when I meet you, we're good.
Okay.
Because they know how to feed themselves. That's all you need. If you can take care of you good.
Now, as we say that, you know, some people are going to be accused of being bougie. Some people are going to be, you know what I mean? Like, there was one website that I came across. This is definitely before Rosa, but you know, they wanted you to have a minimum of make 100K just to even, you know, be one
Sign
of
up
the
on
clients.
the
Sign up,
website.
right? You know what I mean? Like,
You
if
signed
you
up for it?
I did not.
I'm sure you did.
So
I'm gonna go back and look, see if my name was on there.
So I'm just saying, why do they do that? You know, it's just a way of thinning the herd. It's no more, and I wasn't offended by it, but I'm sure some people would be, because somewhere in there they think that because because you're an attorney, a doctor, or whatever, or a medicine woman from South Dakota, that if you make a certain amount of money, that means that you must be decent. No, it doesn't mean you're decent. It just means that
you make a whole lot of money.
Right. You know, that's what's on your W-2.
But that
doesn't mean that you're compatible. It doesn't mean that you know that you love God. It doesn't mean that you have a good relationship with your mother, your siblings, or anyone else. You may have a personality of a bent trash can, but you know, she makes six figures, and I can learn to love her. I can overlook the other stuff. So our question today is, if this is how you choosing your partners and everything, here's a question for all of you. What do people say about you? What would they say about you if they were trying to describe you to someone? Like, hey, I really want you to meet Shay. I really want you to meet Brenda or Barbara or whomever. And she's a wonderful person, and she's this and that, and she teaches kids, she holds Sunday school meeting and teaching kids beginning piano.
Right.
Wonderful. You know what I mean? Yeah, but she don't make enough money. Oh, she's good looking, she's lovely, she has a wonderful family, she's got good values, she's attractive, and she's a tight size 8. Well now, but she ain't got enough cash, you know? And you know, is that a deal breaker for you? Mm-hmm. And what gets me, some of the people who are out there evaluating other women and passing over some very good packages, if you will, and they look no better themselves. I had a buddy, I'm sorry, she's no longer with us, but we had a buddy who was, you know, very lifelong overweight, always, you know, had to deal with her weight, keeping it in control. And she told this one girl that, you know, you're too big for me. And here it is, she's sitting up there holding down two chairs, you know what I mean? But she was of the mindset that I'm the butch and I get to choose what I want, and you're just too heavy set for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, that just blows my mind. Right. So my thing is we're going around putting check marks by people's name and about, you know, oh, I like this about her, I like that about, oh, no, she won't do, she's not tall enough, I said green eyes, and oh, yours are kind of hazel. As we do all that, what do you think, how do you think that you're adding up on their list?
Exactly.
You know?
And the question is probably more for people who get into relationships and they don't last, and you're trying to figure out why I can't find somebody that lasts. And you might just want to look at, you know,
yourself
as a whole, right?
Yeah,
look at yourself as a whole and say, what am I actually looking for? And then when you write that down, is it really what you look for when you see a person? Because a lot of people is like, well, looks is going to fade, and I need somebody who can stimulate my mind, and I need this, that, and the other. If you know looks is going to fade, then why are you trying to get the prettiest girl in the room? Why don't you try to get somebody who's stimulating your mind with the conversation you're having, regardless of what they look like? So that's what I'm saying. We set them unrealistic goals.
We do. We got those expectations, you know, and it's just like, if you don't look like Halle Berry's sister,
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, I don't think I can go out with you. And then I'm like, when the last time you took a long look in the mirror?
Right.
You're no Halle Berry.
Right.
You know, and that's what gets me. You know what I mean? It really does get me. They want all of this, and you know, you need to be able to speak 2 languages and got 2 PhDs and travel the world and all this kind of thing. And it's just like, well, what are you doing for humanity?
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with any of that. If you want to go by yourself and be okay with the situation, you know, delete all of this. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking and you know, keep finding yourself in that same rut, in that same situation, you know, you date somebody for a year, don't work out, you date them for 2 years, don't work out, you date them for 6 months, and you're just like, I just want somebody there for the long run, then you probably might want to look at yourself and what you're actually want versus what you're actually getting.
Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes we're just fishing in the wrong waters.
Yeah,
you know, and you know what they say. You know, she's got to be perfect as soon as I become perfect, and you're never going to be perfect, sweetie.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's what would get me too. You know, like, well, who going to love me? Well, you're definitely worthy. Once you know that you're worthy. You know what I mean? And you're looking, and you're just looking for someone to share some of you with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't say we ain't got to, you know, run to the altar. We ain't got to spend the next 19 weekends together. But just getting to know somebody, you know, find out who they are, what their likes are. It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time. But sometimes we're our own worst enemies because you say, well, she don't make enough. Oh, well, you know, I didn't like the, you know, she got 2 kids. Well, now.
Exactly.
Well, now.
We ain't gonna say no names.
Yeah.
But picking back on what you said about that dating site that you had to have, you know, at least
100,000. Yeah, you got to be
K to sign up. Because I know when Iyanla first said this, a lot of people clapped back at her too and was like, you know, allowing people to, you know, lower their standards and all of this, that, and the other. And it's not even about that. It's about just taking a bigger picture as to what you actually want. If I was the person that wants somebody that making 100,000 K, I'm gonna sign up for that. If I don't care what they look like and they can disrespect me out in public and, you know, might hit me from time to time, if I'm okay with that because they making $100,000, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's who and what you actually are looking for. So if you're okay with that, sign up on the website. You never know, you know,
who you gonna meet. Right.
But it could be someone who is your soulmate. But if that's what you're going for, then go for that. But if it doesn't work out time after time after time, don't say that there's no good people out there, because you're only, as Sharyn said, fishing in one pond. Yeah. That's the 100,000 K pond. Now, there's other fish that could be bigger ones. Yeah. In the 80,000,
very nice, but in a different
with the 80K,
they're in the runoff water. You know what I mean? No, but seriously,
but it could be it could be, you know, check bigger fish there. So you gotta realistically say, this is what I'm looking for. So I don't really care what comes my way, or this is not what I'm looking for. So let me strategically start making sure. If I walk in a room where there's 100 beautiful women, I'm not trying to seek out the most beautiful. I'm trying to seek out the one that I feel a connection with, regardless of what she does for a living. If y'all hitting it off, y'all hitting it off.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. And people are always curious, like, well, how did you and Rosa work it out? I was not Rosa's first choice, and I literally closed her screen too, because I just closed the screen because I just thought she was too young. I mean, there was the age difference was more than 10 years, more than 15 years, and I was like, oh my God, I got, you know me, I got pocketbooks older than her. So, and then I just like let go and let God. Yeah, I opened the screen back open, and you know, and when I finally got to talk to her, and I was just like, I think I've maxed out your max, because I think she was like, you know, her high was 55, and I'm like, I done passed that number too, you know. So we could have very easily missed each other totally.
Absolutely,
totally.
But it was me getting out of my old head, because Sharyn is right. I'm like, yeah, maybe not. But the more I spoke to her, I found out what her likes are, my likes, and how many things we have in common. And it was just like, I really naturally like this woman.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was like,
Yeah.
sometimes that's hard to come by.
Just
you
the
may
liking.
hook up with somebody and you may
Like-
have several things in common, but it was just so many things that we could talk about. Sharyn was definitely well read and would quote stuff, and I say, oh, that's Nikki Giovanni, and she's all excited. I knew who it was for.
Oh, she is a little young.
I'm just saying that was for an example, but
Yeah.
but yeah, so it really for me was our conversation, and I knew it was something that I was looking for.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I was looking for the most beautiful woman in the room, it may not have been that big of a match. Not
Right.
that my wife is not beautiful, because she is.
I
But
am.
I'm just saying,
Right.
if I was looking for something different,
Yeah. And then with my plus and minus was, like, she had 2 kids, and how old are these wonderful little munchkins? 9 and 13. Oh my God. And I'm thinking, like, how young are you? You know what I mean? And Rosa didn't have, children till she was, near 30. So any event. So we both were looking at each other, but what got me with her, like I said, the conversations, and she, after so many times of just talking to women and them chatting with me and going on dates and connections and all that and misconnections, it had been such a long time that I talked to a woman who actually answered the questions. Everybody's trying to be glib and smooth and
like
dramatic and theatrical and witty and and it's just like, girl, just answer the question. Yes or no? Do you like asparagus? I mean, it could be simple questions, and they go all the way around the world.
When you say asparagus,
Yes, do you mean? Because it's and sometimes it's not really in the vegetable category. Girl, do you like it? Yes or no? Right. Just answer the question. So I just found that she didn't hesitate just to say what was real. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? No rehearsal. Can I answer that later? You went too far. I don't know if I'll get back to you later like that. No, she just answered the question. It shouldn't be that hard. And if you're telling the truth, you don't have to rehearse.
Absolutely.
Okay. So anyway, that was our that's us getting together. But in the larger scheme of things, out there in lesbian world and far beyond, we're out there just looking for love. You know what I mean? Like everyone in your life, you want to be, just you want to be loved, and be remembered. Right. You know what I mean? Not that condensed, but you know what I'm saying. So think about what you're doing and how you're presenting yourself, and what do you really, really want.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying somebody married, but just people that you want to even involve yourself with. Right. Because we know every time you get up to the stand, you don't make a home run. Right. You know what I mean? But you just want to be. You don't want to waste your time either. Right. Okay. So that's what we're talking about today, and we have very different, methods on some things, and opinions and all. But I understand it, she understands it, and we just want to invite you to do a little bit more deeper thinking on your own act. Mm-hmm. What are you doing or not doing to really connect with the women that you're trying to connect with, and it has nothing to do with money. Nothing. We just had to start the conversation somewhere, and we got a lot of friends, and we see people, sometimes they, as the old folks say, we pass and repass. Sometimes they just miss each other because they got too much stuff, some other stuff going in their life, like the crazy ex-lover. That kind of stuff. Like you're gonna miss out on a good woman because you're still running after the little raggedy ones who mean you're no good. Right. Oh, they're good for high adventure and great crazy weekends. You know what I mean? And maybe even hot sex and and cool drinks in the morning. But you want a little bit more than that, and you deserve so much more. Absolutely. So that's where we're at on that. It was a great conversation, and more to come. So, as we say every week, we're always wishing you the very best.
Of all good things. Stay safe and stay woke. And we'll see you all when we see you.
Yeah. Might be a minute. Take care. Stay healthy.